CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Wednesday, March 23rd, 2016. If you want to follow us on Twitter, please go to CATEX TV. Earlier this morning, there were press reports that the Belgian police had arrested the missing third man from the bombing group yesterday in Brussels. However, that has now been denied. What we do know is that two brothers apparently were actually the suicide bombers who blew themselves up at the airport. The third man is being looked for right now. Some 30 people were killed in the explosions, and a number of others were injured, as many as 260. The Brussels airport remains completely closed down. The metro is open in Brussels except for the area by the European Union buildings, which was the subject of the explosion yesterday at the Malbec station. Bermudian insurer Ironshore apparently is up for sale. According to reports from Bloomberg News, there is a possibility that they may sell shares to the public or might be sold outrightly by its Chinese owners. Fosun International, the Shanghai-based conglomerate that's led by the billionaire Guo Guangchang, might be mulling the move just some 4 months after completing the $1.8 billion takeover of the company. This news comes 3 months after AM Best, the ratings agency, put Ironshore's ratings under review after Mr. Guo was reported missing and was later revealed to have been assisting Chinese authorities with an investigation. AM Best cited concern over the weak financial profile of Fosun. It added that the questioning of Mr. Guo had created, quote, an additional level of uncertainty as to Fosun's continued ability to to improve its financial position within a time frame originally contemplated. There's apparently concern about the the amount of assets that actually exist compared to the assets that have been leveraged. It's interesting to note that this comes the same week after the Chinese insurance company Anbang declined to match Marriott's revised offer for the Starwood Hotels Group. This is not a surprise. Profits at Lloyd's dropped significantly last year, hit by both poorer underwriting and investment returns. John Nelson, the chairman, described it as undeniably a tougher market than has been seen for many years. The company's profits fell to £2.1 billion for 2015, compared with £3 billion in 2014. These are aggregate numbers from all the Lloyd syndicates, each of which have already been reported publicly. Hailstorms caused by severe thunderstorms in the Dallas-Fort Worth area on March 17th apparently may now result in over $600 million of insurance claims. The event was mentioned in Aon Benfield's impact forecasting report on Friday, and when the broker said it expected over $1 billion in economic losses from the storms, the Insurance Council of Texas is now saying that the single hailstorm is set to become at least the 12th biggest insured storm loss on record in the history of the state. Meanwhile, in the upper Midwest, a powerful storm system is springing into action and poised to dump at least a foot of snow on Green Bay, Wisconsin, and possibly into Minnesota and eastern Wisconsin. In the south, severe weather, including a tornado or two, could occur anywhere from Dallas into the Ozarks and Missouri before moving across the Mississippi River early tomorrow morning. Near Sky Harbor International Airport in Phoenix, Arizona, a massive fire is raging at a recycling plant, sending huge plumes of black smoke into the air as well as a noxious smell. The fire is burning at the Arizona Pacific Pulp and Paper Company on 36th Street. It's burning very hot, so hot that firefighters are not going in. They're letting it burn itself out. There are 150 firefighters on the scene. There's a concern for air quality. They've warned homeowners to remain inside, and they have consulted with the power companies to shut off electrical grids in the area. There's interesting news from Italy. Enel, E-N-E-L, which is Italy's largest utilities, plans to spend about €2.5 billion to build a fiber optic broadband network across the country. The move will pit it against the Telecom Italia company, which is the communications entity. Enel aims to cover 224 cities with broadband service, selling wholesale capacity on the network to telecommunications carriers. Enel is going to use infrastructure that it already has, such as transmission towers and electricity cabinets, to host fiber optic cables. Enel has about 450,000 electricity cabinets throughout the country, or about triple the number of Telecom Italia's phone cabinets. This could be a very wise move on behalf of the power company. And here's another interesting story. The German far-right NPD party has taken the highly unusual step of praising Syrian refugees for their humanity after a group of Syrian asylum seekers administered first aid to one of its candidates involved in a car crash. Stefan Jaksch, who was an NPD candidate in this month's local elections in the Hesse region of Germany, lost control of his car between Altenstadt and Budingen on the 16th of March and crashed into a tree. According to the fire department, 2 Syrians pulled the seriously injured Jaksch from the wreckage and administered first aid until the ambulance came. The NPD spokesperson told the Frankfurter Rundschau newspaper that the Syrians had, quote, likely performed a very good, humane deed. In early March, Mr. Jaksch and his party had managed to take over 10% of the vote in the municipality in the area, stoking resentment against asylum seekers. Mr. Jaksch took part in a neo-Nazi march where demonstrators were abused as invaders, benefit-scrounging tourists, and lawless primates. They apparently saved his life. Interesting. That's the news for today. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.